We sold our house in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were staying at um, we had an opportunity to stay somewhere while we were looking for another house. And then during that time, in January, we both got COVID.
We had gotten hit with COVID pretty good, and I knew something wasn't right when I'm passing blood clots in my urine, and I knew something wasn't right. And my mom actually passed away from kidney cancer, and that was the beginning of it for her. And it was too large for them to just take the tumor, so they had to take the whole kidney. The first time surgery was scheduled, it was postponed because of COVID. They didn't want me to get blood clots. That's a worry with COVID. So they had to schedule it out 7 weeks past then, and then I tested positive for COVID again, and I was too fearful of passing for blood clots even then. So my doctor and my family spoke to me, and they all wanted me to get a second opinion. So we went to Cancer Treatment Centers of America in Zion, Illinois, and that was where we had my surgery, was April 12th. Before we lived here, we were living in a basement, and one of the fears that I had was, am I going to be able to go down a flight of stairs with having a radical nephrectomy? And that's the kidney removal. One of the prayers of my pastor's wife, I know she was praying, God, please let her sleep in her own bed. She just wanted to see us have a home. And God opened up the doors, and we closed 1 week, right?
About 12 days before.
12 days beforehand. And when we came home, between our church family, our homeschool family, helped us to get our house ready. And I really thank the Lord for that.
Where the house comes into play, my wife was having some, her issues back in January. And, we had obviously been looking for a house for almost a year. And so we put an offer on this house, I think it was towards the end of January. And then we kind of found out first few days of February that they accepted our offer. And then I think it was February 4th or 5th is when we found out that she had a mass on her kidney. So it kind of was all happening at the same time. Because in March she went to Chicago. We were there for 4 days, and they just went through a round of tests to make sure everything else looked okay. Nothing had spread or anything of that nature. And then we had to go back for her actual surgery. So in that time, we obviously went through all the inspections on the house. We found out towards the end of February that there was an issue with the septic system. So we knew at closing there was an issue with the septic system. The county health department had come out and did their normal, where they drill cores in the ground to see what kind of dirt's underneath there. They write up a permit, and then the contractors or excavators bid on that permit as far as what it's going to cost to do the septic system in the drain field. The house wasn't a state sale, so the sellers really didn't have to disclose anything as far as that goes, because it was their parents' house. Typically the sellers are the ones who are responsible, or who typically pay for septic or well repairs before the sale of a home. That way you're getting a house that has a working well and working septic system. But the sellers chose to only put $800 towards that, the initial estimate, which was $5,800. So we felt that God was, leading us to this house. It was a house that we could see ourselves living in. It was a house closer to our church, so we could be a better help, to the community. And so everything was running smoothly. We were, living here, and then the guy came out. It was a Monday before Memorial Day. I think it was May 23rd. He comes out. He starts to dig as far as out in the yard for the septic system per the permit. and he finds out that the permit's not going to work. There's too much clay underneath the ground. The initial estimate wasn't going to hold. He had the county come out. They drew up another permit, and the guy who initially came out, his bill basically went from $1,500 to $22,500 all in one day. So it was kind of a punch in the gut. With everything else going on, it was just a huge blow. And to be honest, if it was something that was upfront and known to us that the septic system was going to be $20,000 and the sellers weren't going to help out, I mean, honestly, we probably wouldn't even we would have walked away from this house. So we had to step back and think about, one, how we're going to pay for it, and two, obviously we've got a new permit. Let's get some new bids on it and everything of that nature. And our septic tank has to be relocated, so there's going to the house inside. The sewer line inside the house is going to have to be redone. They're going to have to go out in another spot in the wall, and so it was just kind of a lot to deal with in that short amount of time. That we've got to be limited on how much water we can use. We have a family of 6. It's kind of hard. You got a minimal laundry and everything like that. So it's pretty tough. But I know that God's going to see us through it. So. We were concerned with my wife with her surgery and her cancer, and praise God, as of right now, she is technically cancer free. They were able to get it just all out from the kidney. We just have to go through the CT scans every few months to make sure it doesn't come back. So right now it's going towards redoing the drain field, the septic system, if we happen to get enough to redo the plumbing inside the house. Cost-wise, we were going off that initial estimate of $22,500 plus whatever plumbing we had. That didn't include anything inside the house as far as the plumbing. And we've looked into other help in the area, because there's organizations and there's places that help in situations like this. But with us just buying the house, a lot of times those places rely on home equity, which we have none right now. Other than a little bit of a down payment that we put down on the house, there's a risk of us losing our home because of this. If with a non-working septic system, that it's considered a health risk. Just we appreciate all the support that it's very humbling. Because you always want to be the person to give or to help out, because that's what we've done in the past, and it's very humbling to be on the receiving end.
I feel like through all of this that God has just been so merciful and just been showing so much love to us through our church family, through our homeschool family, through our friends, just everybody. But to be on the receiving end and to know that there's people who you don't even know, it was like being the hands and the feet of Jesus. That's humbling. But we thank the Lord for it. And with the health department, they did give us, they did say ideally that they'd like it to be done in 30 to 60 days. Otherwise, they would have to take action. And of course, the action would be condemning the property because it's unsafe. His hand has been on us every step of the way, and I really, really thank the Lord for that. And we're not promised a perfect life, but we're promised that He'll give us strength to get through the hard times, and that's what I thank God for.